Hello, my name is kikisYTcontact. Welcome to Kiki's Self Mastery. And I just gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna start with how dating a narcissist broke me and how I healed. So I wanted to do this for a long time. It took a while for me to get here, quite honestly. It wasn't until I broke up with that demon in 2022. I am going to refer to that person as a demon. So if you hear me say that, that's because that's what they are. They are soulless individuals. They are demons, okay? They are possessed by demons, and that's why they are empty souls. And I've experienced that firsthand. And I'm gonna start off by saying that I had no clue that I was with a narcissist. Let me be clear with that, okay? That's why he was able to break me. I did not have a clue what I was dealing with. If anything, my delusional self, my people-pleasing self at that moment in time during my life, I actually told myself that I'm going to go through with this. Meaning, in the beginning of the relationship, I did not know what I was dealing with, but I knew that he was draining my energy. He was an energy vampire. And I was praying to God, asking God, why? If this is meant for me, why do I feel so drained? And during that time as well, I wasn't as close to God as I know him now. So much has happened, you guys. So much has happened. And even though I knew of a higher being, I knew of someone there. I prayed to the universe. I was asking, if this is for me, give me a sign, give me something. And I didn't get any sign, at least vivid enough for me to recognize as a sign. I've received signs. Now that I look back at it, it was signs. I just didn't know that they were signs. What do I mean by that? One, you have to know about energy vampires. Somebody's draining your energy. That's a sign. That's a sign in itself that they're taking your life force, literally. And because he was taking my life force, I told myself, this is challenging, this is hard, but maybe this is going to make me better. I was literally telling myself, I have to go through this in order to make myself better. Maybe I'm feeling this drain because there's something that I have to learn. There's something I have to go through. And yes, that is accurate. I actually did learn a lot and I had to go through it. And I realized that I had to go through it knowing now. But then it was more of, no, I don't need to run from every relationship that I've been in. You know what I mean? I don't need to run from this. I'm a big girl. I can put my big girl panties on and I can handle this. That was a delusional. That was the people-pleasing side of me. The other signs were, this man was not for me. I got so many signs that this man was against me, that what he said did not match his actions whatsoever, but I disregarded. I gave the benefit of the doubt. So many things that were there, so many red flags that weren't my normal red flags, normal things that I've experienced in the past with other relationships in order to say, yeah, this ain't it. Because he was love bombing me. So it was a very, very confusing time for me. And I didn't understand that I was putting myself in a very, very, very dangerous situation that I know today that if I would have stayed, I would have, I wouldn't be here. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's how I feel to this very day. I know that if I would have stayed in that demonic relationship, it would have put me 6 feet deep. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I was breaking down. My health was breaking down. Everything about me was breaking down. Oh, it was terrible. Oh, it was terrible. It was, goodness gracious. I have to laugh now. Why? Because I'm out of it. It's it took me a while. Again, I've been trying to do this video since 2022. Here we are in 2025, and I'm now able to actually sit in front of you guys and talk about this. Why? Because there are so many levels that you have to go through in order to heal. I was with that demon for about 4 years. So it says that when you do your research, it takes just about the same amount of time to heal, or even double when it comes to dealing with a narcissist. And that's why I'm able to actually have this conversation with you guys and just kind of go through my process really quickly. And I'm watching my time because I'm trying not to be here too long, but it broke me. It broke me in every way that I know possible because it I have never been in a relationship where I literally cried almost every day. Whew. It's so hard sometimes even like go back there, but that was my reality. And there's so much that I know now, which is why I'm building this channel, because of the simple fact that I've had to go through so much and I didn't even know what I was dealing with. And because I didn't know what I was dealing with, by the time I found out, it was too late. The damage had been done. My mental health, my physical health, my emotional health, everything was broken by the time I found out that I was dealing with a narcissist. And it was too late, because what I've had to go through to heal has been like, it's been moving a freaking mountain every single day in order to get back straight, get back to the person that I was. Not necessarily before, but normal in a sense, where I feel like I'm me again. You know what I mean? I'm not me of who I was, because who I am now is, I'm a totally different person now. Totally different person. I am black and white when it comes to who I am today. And I'm so much stronger, so much more resilient, so much more confident. Like, my level of discernment is impeccable. My intuition is impeccable. Like, having toxic people, being able to recognize other narcissists in my life, other snakes in the grass in my life, is because of what I went through with this narc. I'm not the same person. I am 10 times better. I am 10 times more whole, 10 times more powerful. It took me a while to get here. So I'm going to share a little bit of that with you, and eventually have like a couple of series. This is just going to be a part series, so that you can kind of, because it's a lot that I've been through, and I want to hopefully help people that either are going through it, maybe recognize how to get out, or people that have no clue what a narcissist is, like me, maybe avoid it, so on and so forth. And those who have, give them tips and tools on how to heal yourself from this traumatic experience. And this is just my intro to the whole narcissist series. I'm definitely going to have other series. This is self-mastery. This is not going to be a channel just about narcissists, but I will speak upon it. And I'm also going to speak about becoming the best version of yourself. I'm talking about healing yourself, mental health, so on and so forth. Again, it's called self-mastery. And I hope you share this journey with me, and like, thumbs up, and subscribe, and do all those good things. Yeah, so here we are. The narcissist experience for me was one that I have never been in, to the point that I convinced myself that I can handle all of it. I just thought that if I talked enough, if I said enough, if I expressed myself enough, that this person will eventually catch it, get it. If they cared about me enough, that they will understand that they're doing everything to hurt me, and I want them to stop. But that was the worst thing that I could have done for myself. Why was it the worst thing? Because I thought that I can change. And it's not even that I'm in it to change, because I've learned early on not to change people. Like, you can't change people. So it wasn't my motive to change him, but it was my motive to change his behavior towards me, and to express, because I truly believe in communication when it comes to your relationship. And if your partner is doing something to hurt you, you have to verbalize it, because I do not believe that people are mind readers, and I'm really open and transparent with my communication. So I did that, hoping that he would understand that this behavior is hurting me. So fix the behavior so you can stop hurting me. But instead, the behavior kept going over and over and over again. And for me, because I love and embrace change, and that is a mantra that I say to myself, and I've always said that since I was in elementary. I was really, really wise as a young kid to I didn't know it was an affirmation. I didn't know I was saying a mantra, but I knew that change was good. And I knew that I love change. So I've always said that mantra since elementary. I love and embrace change. And for me, I couldn't understand why this person had no clue in changing. Zero. When I tell you that this person is to this very day, I guarantee you doing can't speak, doing the same exact thing from when I met him. I guarantee it. That's how confident I am. I know patterns. I pay attention to patterns. I do a lot of self-reflecting, and I had to do a whole lot of that in that relationship, that it opened my eyes to understand that I'm dealing with someone that does not give a shit about me. And it wasn't until I had someone actually wake me up to the reality that I'm dealing with a narcissist that allowed me to even do research on what a narcissist was. But the one thing that that person said to me, she pulled me to the side. Oh, she pulled me to the side. She was like, let's go have coffee. So we went and we had coffee. And she told me, he's a narcissist. And I was like, well, what is that? And she was like, they do not change. A light bulb hit me, because for 4 years I have been trying to figure out, why is this person banging me with the same behaviors, same tactics, same personality, same everything, and there is nothing that they're doing to change any of it. And during that time, I kept changing myself a million times. I've changed myself so many times that I thought that I can get through this. I can do this. I can work through that. I know how to communicate. I know what it's like to evolve. I know what it's like to better myself. I know and what to do when it comes to a relationship and how to have one that's healthy. And the moment she said that, I broke down in tears, because it was a light bulb. Whoa. I went home. I did immense amount of research. Like, I was obsessed. And mind you, I was working with this person at a time, this demon at the time. And I had maybe about, when she said this, I think I had maybe like 2-3 more months of working with this person until I was able to until the job was over. And I had to play nice that whole time. Like, I mean, for the season, for the time that I was with that person, I was like trying to play nice, because so let me rewind. So 2 years of being with them, I was already fed up and trying to figure out how to leave, but I couldn't figure out how to leave. So it took me 2 years to leave. I even tried to move to California, thinking that if I could just move to California all the way across states, that I'll be able to. But God was like, that ain't gonna happen. Like, I have never not had or got what I wanted, especially when it came to moving somewhere and living somewhere. But this, when I tell you the forces came in and stopped it, I was like, mind you, I came so close every single time. And it was like, nope. And I was like, okay, it's for a reason. It is what it is. So I can't move across states. So I'm working at this job with this person, and I have a couple more months, and I gotta figure out how to leave. So during that time, when she told me that he's a narc, and I started doing my research, I had to play nice. And I'm telling you, when it's so hard to play nice and be around someone that you despise, okay? And it was tremendously difficult. It's a mental FUCK. Okay, like, it really is. Like, it's so hard to hold all of that energy in. It's so detrimental to your body to constantly hold a level of pain and anxiety and stress in your body for so long. And I've been holding this in for 2 years. Now I know who I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with a demon. It intensified to the point where I was like, I gotta get away from this person. And for me, my plan was, once this job is over, I'm disappearing. I am going to disappear. I am going to do what I gotta do. Like, I may not be able to move just yet, but I will eventually move. But during that time, I need to disappear. When I tell you, after walking away from that demon, and there's so much that happened for me to just get to that point. But once I got to that point, I realized how broken I was. That's what I mean when I say it was too late. I'm not crying on camera. I'm not crying on camera. But my body had gone through so much stress that by the time I was able to get away from that person, one thing that I did recognize immediately, once I started to once she told me that he was a narc and I started to limit my communication with that person, after work, I would not be around him at all. I started to realize my energy was coming back, and I was like, whoa. I had lost so much of my energy, so much of my light, that it came in full force. That I remember telling my friend who was my mentor at the time, he's now ex, because he didn't believe me about the narcissist. So I cut him off, and I cut off a lot of people in my life. Whether they themselves were other narcissists or snake in the grass, but he was one of those people that he just didn't believe me. And I during that time couldn't hold on to other toxic people. That demon was enough for me. That anybody else that portrayed a level of toxicity towards me, it was easy to let them go. Boom, bam, bang, boom. Get out of here. You're done. Get out of here. It was so easy for me. I got my energy back, and it was amazing that I realized that I had allowed myself to be drained in such a way that caused me so much emotional stress. Being with that person literally caused me to have PTSD. And I didn't know that I had it until I had a loss in the family, and that broke me. I've dealt with loss in the family before. I've dealt with losing a lot of people that were extremely close to me. But this time, I couldn't handle it the way that I used to in the past. And that's because of the weight that I already was dealing with. My body shut down and couldn't handle it anymore. I even lost my memory when that happened. I couldn't even remember. Somebody was like, what year car you driving? I'm like, I don't know. I literally lost memory for a lot of things, and I couldn't hold on to a lot of things. That's how much stress my mind was under. So just to give you an idea, I'm hoping that this makes sense and this eventually helps someone. But my body had went through immense amount of stress that I literally had to go in isolation in order to heal. I had to do the research. I had to study. I had to take time for myself. I literally removed all the toxic people. I was selfish. I became super selfish with me, extremely selfish. And it's hard when you are someone who's coming from being a people pleaser to now you're extremely selfish and you're loving yourself the way that you've always wanted to love yourself. And you have people around you that you know may need you, whether it be family or friends, to either communicate with them or just check on them and things like that. And I literally had to stop all of it. I literally had to not care about checking on people. I literally had to stop thinking about others because it was bothering me that I wasn't being there for them. And I had to tell myself, this is your time to be here for you, okay? Everybody else will be fine. This is a couple of years. They will be fine. And you pray to God that nothing happens to anyone during this time. God allows you to and gives you grace during this time to take care of yourself while your family is protected, which is why I always pray over my friends and family, because that empath side of me really wants to connect. The other half is like, you've done enough connecting with others. Now it's time for you to connect with yourself. And it has been the most important thing that I've ever had to do in my entire life. And that means I've done everything that I felt necessary for me, whether it be keeping my nails done because it made me feel pretty, whether it be my hair, my beauty, my skin, everything that I needed to do externally. If it made me feel pretty, I'm doing it. I don't care. Internally, eating cleaner, eating healthier, not eating the processed food and the BS, because when you are with a narcissist, you cannot take care of yourself. I am super health conscious, but the moment I got with that fool, my health consciousness went out of the window. Even though during those times, I felt my body going through immense amount of stress, that I even tried getting on a couple of health courses. And when I tell you, he tried to intervene, I remember one time, real quick, I was like 2 months into this health course and I was doing really, really good and eating super clean and things like that. And it was my daughter's birthday and ice cream cake. I love ice cream cake. So I got her that. And I gave everybody a piece but me, and I was fine with that. You know, like I need to heal my body, because I realized that being with this mofo is hurting my body internally. I can't even do the things that I want to do to keep my body thriving. And during this time, I'm not eating this cake. So he takes the stupid fork, spoon, whatever, and he trying to give me a piece in my mouth, and I'm like, no. And he's like, here. And I'm like, and mind you, this fool knows I'm on this course. And he knows that I'm not eating bad. He hasn't seen me eat terrible in the last 2 months. But yet he's putting a spoon in my face. And I'm like, no. And he's like, here, no. And I'm like, take some, no. And I'm like, no. And it was those times that I use as something to recollect, like, this person does not care about you. Wake up. And this is before the woman told me that he was a narcissist. It was just like, those are the things that I was dealing with, of realizing someone, you would tell them no, and they would still do. And he's done that on multiple occasions with other different things. And for me, it was like, you gotta wake up. So now that I am able to take care of myself now, like, I just feel my life thriving. Slowly but surely. I feel my light force getting bigger. And the other important thing was, I had to stay away from this person. Like, he's blocked on everything. Blocked on everything. Everything that I can think of, he is blocked. Period. I even went through a point where I was ruminating. Ruminating means you're constantly thinking about all the stuff that you've been through with this person. I had to go through it. That's one. This is why it takes years, because that took a couple of months. It got intense at one point where it took a couple of months, but then throughout the years, it was constantly always there. Now it's becoming less and less, where I'm really at a point where I'm disconnecting. Like the detachment is getting stronger and stronger, because I've made sure to remove this person 100% from my life. Period. No communication. And if you don't know how a narcissist is, they would never give up. And the one thing that fool will always ask me was, we can't be friends? Because I will always say, I'm never going to speak to you again. Like, I am never. And he would be like, and this is before I knew he was a narcissist. And he would say, but we can't be friends. And I'm like, why would I be friends with you? Because he knew that I was friends with my other exes. But the thing was, with those other exes, they never treated me like shit. This person was the worst man I've ever been with in my entire life, because he was a demon. The rest of them, they had their, you know what I mean? But they never treated me the way that this person treated me. So of course I was more friends with them. And they always shown that they had my back, until even now, like, I don't even speak to none of them, because I realize, as I'm a healed version of myself now, that they were a part of the unhealed version of myself. That's why we weren't together, and I kept them around for whatever those reasons were. But now that I'm healed, they're not even around. You know what I mean? But with him, he would always ask, so we can't be friends? I'm like, hell no, why would I? The way you treat me? Bruh. Hell no. So I know that it hurts him, because narcissists always believe that they can always keep you in their life. That's one thing in their mind. They just have no clue. They are really freaking delusional. And even one time I told him, I was like, I think you're delusional, because he even kept talking about having kids. And I'm like, bruh, you really think that I will have kids with you? Mind you, I already have 2 kids. He has none. And I'm like, when you know better, you do better. Okay? Like, I'm smart enough to not have kids with a demon. I'm smart enough to not have kids with someone who's local, okay? Like, you ain't trapping me up in here. Okay? No way in hell. And thank God, you know, like, thank God for my babies. Thank God I already have them. Thank God my clock wasn't ticking in that way, because that level of desperation that he kept pouring onto me, if I really, really wanted kids, I probably would have. with that fool in the beginning stages with the love bombing and all that crazy stuff. But because of all of that, I was wise enough not to do any of that, thankfully. But when I tell you that it's been a journey, so my healing process is still ongoing. But I'm definitely way more better than I was before. Again, I couldn't even talk to you on camera. You know, it took years for me to get to this point and actually have this conversation to tell you guys. But one thing is for sure is that I promise you, the more you work on yourself, the more you remove that person from your life, the more you stop ruminating and checking their social medias and so on and so forth, because I promise you they're doing it for you, so you better block them. You better block them. You don't need them knowing what's updated in your life. You don't need to give them any of that energy, because you remember, they can be energy vampires, and this one definitely was. And I knew that I didn't want him to see nothing about me. I even had my social medias that were public, even though I blocked him on the social medias. I decided to make mine private, because I decided to go even more into a solitude bubble to heal myself and maximize that level of healing, because I just chose to not have nobody who didn't want any good for me to be on my social media watching me, who didn't want to comment or say anything. But I knew them. You know what I mean? Like, you know who those people are. You know them, but they don't comment, they don't like, they don't say anything. So even on my social medias, I just stopped posting. I was like, I'm not even gonna post, you guys. I wasn't gonna update people on my life, because during that time when you're done, you as everybody knows, we all do this. When we break up with someone, we go through the phase of just posting all this stuff and telling everybody our business. And I wasn't necessarily telling people my business, but I was venting. Like, there would be a post I like, and I would repost it, or I would repost and I would say, I had the worst experience with a narcissist. There's something very similar to this. Things like that. But I would never go in a rant and just tell my business, because I'm still private. But I needed to vent that in that way. Eventually all that stopped. I removed all those things that I posted, and then I went ghost, because I knew that it was working. What I was doing was working. The healing process was working. Now I need to accelerate it. Why? Because my body took a hit. It took a hit mentally, physically, and emotionally. I was literally depressed, having PTSD, ruminating, all these things, my health, not eating as clean because I was depressed. You know what I mean? And when you don't take care of your body, you don't have the energy to do the things you want, need, desire. Like, there's so many things that lapsed in my life that I'm like, who is this person? This isn't like me. I don't recognize this person. And having therapy helped. I had therapy, still do. And that definitely helped me to kind of recognize the phases that I have gone through, like being able to talk about it and speak about it with somebody more privately. And it's not necessarily friends and family. Someone that can give me a level of advice that I can use as tools to help myself heal. Like, all that was necessary for me. And even now, so when I stopped posting on my social media, it's because I needed that bubble to tighten up, because I realized how much it is helping me. And if I allow myself to be distracted by the people that don't wish good for me, allow myself to compare myself to other people and so on and so forth, all those things that were negative, it wasn't going to help my process, my healing. It wasn't. This is a part of this healing process now. Like, there are phases, there's levels to it, and now I'm at this level where I just want to talk about healing, growth, self-mastery, so on and so forth, because I've been through enough that I have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to do that. And I hope that this helps you guys. There will be more. If you like this video, there will be another one attached here, so feel free to check it out. Please like, thumbs up, and subscribe, you guys. But I welcome you to Kiki's self-mastery and the journey that we are about to partake in. Other than that, you guys, stay healed, stay blessed. Bye-bye.